Hi guys, Martin here, Full Moon Drummer on YouTube and UK guy in USA on the International Scale Modelers Forum. Coming to you with, I'm calling it build update number 2, but I haven't done anything build wise or paint wise since update number 1. And the reason for that is I'm using a lot of colours, 5 colours on this plane, and I have to decide how I'm going to do that. As you can see, it's plane from the artwork on the box, and from this you can see there's a lot of angled faces, surfaces to choose from. One thing that I do know for certain is the Bombay and the wheel wells will be white, so we can forget about that. But what I did was I took the instructions booklet, and they have a plan view of the underside and a plan view of the top side of this plane. So I took that to the photocopier and I enlarged those, and I printed off 4 sets showing the top and bottom of the plane. And then I took 5 colours, those colours being the peach that represents the colour of the cancer that my mum fell victim to, and who my sister's presently at the end of her life with. The violet, which is the colour for Hodgkin's lymphoma, which took my first wife. The lavender for all cancers, and then I've got a plum for the to represent all the caregivers. That honours all the caregivers, such as doctors, nurses and all the family that do their best to take care of cancer sufferers and hopefully turn it around and for a positive outcome. And then I'm using black, so I want to keep some of the black, and the black to me represents the evil, the darkness, the death, the destruction of this disease. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the 4 different versions that I coloured in, and I've numbered them 1, 2, 3 and 4. And what I'd like to do, guys, is I'm gonna leave this video out there and ask if you guys could kindly look at the 4 different styles that I've painted, that I've sketched out, colour versions, and have you guys vote either number 1, 2, 3 or 4. My wife and I looked at them, we narrowed it down to 2. She made a firm decision on 1, and I couldn't decide between the 2 that I'd narrowed it down to with her. So she has a firm decision. I want to include you guys. You know, this affects everybody, and it'd be nice to have you guys feel as though you're a part of my build as well by voting on the colour. So alright, let me show you the different colour schemes. Remember, and I'll explain as I show the scheme the reasons why I've chosen these layouts and where I've placed the colours. There's some significance in it to me. Be back in a minute. There's a little glare, so I just adjusted the blinds. Alright, my first one, layout number 1. And we'll start with the top view. On every style, every colour scheme I've done, I've put black at the front over the canopy and at the nose, on the top and the bottom. And the reason I'm doing that is because for this colour scheme I'm representing that no matter what you do, cancer is leading the problem. It's the cause of the problem and it's leading. And then I chose to do black on the ailerons, the exhausts and the rudders, and for reasons the exhaust system is from the engine, it's driving the disease. The rudder and the ailerons steer the disease, you steer the direction of the disease. There's nothing you can do about it. And then the dark plum colour is the caregivers. I put the caregiver in front of the cancer, nose and tail. because the caregivers are trying to prevent this cancer getting through further to the people that are suffering. In the middle is the violet, which represents the Hodgkin's lymphoma, and what I intend to do is 2 letter stencils and put the name of my first wife, Lorraine Lamont. And then, because there's 2 sufferers in my life, my mum had passed away with uterine cancer, which is represented by peach. I've put her name there, and my sister is presently dying from it. I've put her name on that wing on the peach. And then the light blue, I didn't have the correct colours in pencils, but light blue, lavender blue, is representing all cancer sufferers. And again, I've shrouded the cancers with caregivers, but you can see the blacks getting through to the sufferers here and there. The blacks touching these different cancers, it's getting through. No matter what those caregivers are doing to prevent it, it's getting through. And so the underside, I've kind of repeated that colour scheme. I've kept the caregivers along the leading edges of the wings, and on the back, similarly to this, trying to prevent the death and destruction getting through to the people suffering, and on the nose cone. And as you can see, I've left the Bombay wheel wells white. Forget that, that was an accident. There won't be a name on the bottom, it'll be on the top. Now what I intend to do also is on the tails, because you can't see the side view, I don't know whether you can see it, there's actually a panel line which separates the bottom from the top. So I do the top in the black, and the bottom I do in the colour that they fit to, which would be purple, which would be the caregiver. So I'd have the purple at the bottom. But then on the black, which would be a nice background, I would then put the colour ribbon. So on the outside of those rudder tailplanes, I'd put the peach ribbons to represent the uterine cancer, and then on the insides I'd do the violet colour for the Hodgkin's lymphoma for my first wife, and the peach ribbon on the outsides for my mum and sister. So that's colour scheme number 1, and if you bear the philosophy, my symbolism and reasoning behind these colours and the positionings, locations, bear that in mind for the next 3 colour schemes. So that's colour scheme 1. I will be putting these still images at the end of the video, so you can have a look at them and help you make a decision and take a vote. So let's move on to number 2. Here's number 2. All I did there was I took the orange to the outside, to the leading edges, the peach, which represents the uterine. I've got the lavender on the inside there, representing all cancers, and then in the middle the violet for the Hodgkin's lymphoma that took my first wife. And again, I've got the black leading this disease. It's representing the evil, as I explained for version 1. And that's the same on all instances. The nose is black on all of them. And in this instance, I kept the driving systems, the ailerons, the exhaust, and the rudders black, because it's driving the disease, and the caregivers in front, trying to block it getting through to the people that are suffering at the front and back. But as you can see, it does creep through and touch, the black does, and get through to these sufferers. And then the underside would look like that. Again, the peach for the uterine cancer on the leading edges, the black on the rudders, etc., and on the front, and the lavender blue representing all sufferers, and then repeating violet for the Hodgkin's lymphoma that my first wife passed away from. So that's version 2. Version 3, I kept, again, as I said, always the nose is going to be black, and what I did is I extended that down the leading edges of the wings on top and bottom, symbolising that cancer's leading the way in the issue. It's the driving force. And then I've got the peach representing the uterine cancer for my mum, and her name would be engraved, would be stenciled on the side. on this panel here, and then my sister on the other panel in the peach, and then my first wife on the top there in the with the Hodgkin's lymphoma violet colour, and then we have the plum for the caregivers spread here and there, and then on the tail plane, ailerons and rudder, I've got all sufferers. I guess symbolically, cancer affects everybody, it's driving everybody's lives, it's leading their lives, no matter what you can do about it. So leading edges and drivers are steering the course of that cancer, the outcome of it, and the caregivers are there trying to prevent it, steering further towards the darkness. So that's why I separated the cancer by the caregivers from the death and destruction that it causes. That was the symbolism behind this colour scheme, and again on the bottom I've done the same thing. So that's colour scheme 3. Again, it'll be at the end of the video for you guys to help me decide. Colour scheme 4, I used the drive systems as the caregivers, the doctors, nurses and the people. They're trying to drive the cancer, steer it in the positive sense that they want. So that's why I made the driving system, and then down the sides of the air intakes where the engines are going to be, on the ailerons and rudders. But again, cancer is the cause, it's leading the way. We've got all cancers on the leading edges from top and bottom, and then we have the caregivers separated on the drivers, trying to drive that, steer it, trying to direct it in a positive sense, and that's top and bottom as well, as you can see. So they're my 4 colour schemes. I'm not going to tell you what my wife decided on and the 2 that I decided on, which I couldn't make a firm decision from, because I don't want to you know, have any influence on your decisions. But I'm going to post that now, get this up to you guys, and you guys can help me out. So thanks for your help. What I'm going to do is, the time is now 1:15 Sunday afternoon here, Eastern USA time, which is 6:15 Sunday evening UK time. It's going to be a couple hours before this video is posted, obviously creating it, uploading it, waiting it to upload, etc. So that's probably going to be like 3:15, 3:30 in the afternoon this time, 8:15, 8:30 UK. So what I intend to do is let this run till midnight USA time tomorrow, Monday, on the eastern coast, which will be 5 o'clock Tuesday morning. And then when I get up Tuesday morning, I'll be looking at the votes and closing the voting, and whatever takes the lead is the colour scheme I'll then proceed with. So it's down to you guys. There's a reason I haven't pre-shaded yet, because as you can see there's some black sections on these views. When I'm pre-shading, I'll spray with black, I'll spray those black sections at the same time, so I can save a little bit of time doing that. So alright guys, thanks for your help in advance, for helping me get a decision, and I look forward to seeing the results. All the best guys, take care, happy modelling, keep up the great work, thanks a lot, tally-ho and chocks away.